Hey coach, what about weight fluctuations? What can cause them? Poor sleep, late workouts, late meals, date nights, meals out, cycle phases, and hydration. Weight fluctuations. Why does it seem like I can essentially, maybe gain or lose some weight overnight? And should I even be concerned about that? You shouldn't be worried about the day-to-day fluctuation. What we're essentially looking at is maybe more so week-to-week fluctuation or 2-week to 2-week fluctuation. So don't overstress the things that can cause your weight to essentially be altered. Now, I will say people that have a tendency to think about weight fluctuations on a daily basis, they also have a tendency to weigh themselves more than once per day. To save yourself the stress, to save yourself the headache and the heartache, stop weighing yourself more than once a day. If you're gonna weigh yourself daily, just weigh yourself as a part of your morning routine. You wake up, you go to the bathroom, you step on the scale. It doesn't control your life, it's just a part of what you do for accountability. So what are the things that can cause maybe your weight to be altered over the course of a night? So a poor night's sleep is definitely the very first one that I would say. Essentially, some women that may be more, low progesterone, high stress, they have a tendency to toss and turn throughout sleep. Now, if that's the case, then they would have poor quality sleep, and that could alter their weight first thing in the morning. And this is gonna be correlated to stress, especially if there's something stressful going on in life. So that would be the first thing, is your quality of sleep. Ideally, you should be aiming for anywhere between 2-3 hours of REM sleep and potentially 8 hours or more of good, deep quality sleep. Okay. A late night workout. I actually did this not too long ago. I was in the gym up until about 11 o'clock at night, was definitely out of my norm. However, the next day I woke up and I knew that I was gonna have some water retention because I trained 2 body parts. I trained arms and shoulders, and I also trained my legs. The next day I woke up, I was 2 pounds heavier because, next thing, late meal. When I got home, I legit had about 100 grams of carbohydrates that I still needed to hit, 50 grams of protein, and probably 20 grams of fat. I ate that meal at 11 and I was up at 6, okay? So therefore, I didn't sleep long enough, and I ate a meal really, really late at night. Next thing, if you're going out on date nights, okay? So just as an example, most of you probably eat pretty healthy diets, right? You say, I eat clean all the time, Coach Will, but I can't seem to accomplish my goal. However, if you're going out on a date night, you have to understand that these chefs and the people that you're going and buying this food from, they're not preparing it the same way that you're preparing it at the house, right? There's likely some added calories. Maybe they're using some, extra margarines and butters and oils and things like that. And they're also likely over seasoning the food more than you're seasoning it at your house. You're gonna be getting in more sodium in that meal, so therefore your body's gonna be holding more water. And it doesn't mean you're gaining fat. Keep in mind that none of these fluctuations here actually mean that your adipose tissue or your lean body mass are actually changing. In many cases, it's just a fluid dynamic shift. Maybe you go out, you have a nice steak and potato and a salad with your husband or your wife, and maybe you decide to enjoy a glass of wine. In some cases, you could pretty much rest assured you're likely gonna be a little bit heavier when you wake up first thing in the morning. As far as meals out, eating meals out, like I said, once again, doesn't have to be a date night, could just be eating meals out. In many cases, you might have a tendency to overeat some carbohydrate, but then also, like I said, with the sodium, that sodium is gonna be a sneaky thing there, but you don't need to worry about that. You don't need to think that if I go out on a date night, I'm gonna gain fat. That's not the case. It's just a fluid dynamic shift. Unless when you go out and you have this date night and you go out to eat and you're just going ham, then in that case, anything over what your body's capable of metabolizing within a 24-hour time period will essentially be stored as adiposity. Next, cycle phases. If you're a woman, you obviously likely already expect it. Potentially maybe 1 to 3 pounds right before they're about to go into their cycle. A lot of women don't know why this is, and it's because of the hormonal fluctuations that happen during that time. So if you are expecting to start your cycle, you could also expect that your weight should go up 1 to 3 pounds, depending on your hormonal health status. And then the last one's gonna be hydration. If you are off on water, see, a lot of people think that if I don't drink enough water today, I might be lighter tomorrow. However, that's not the case. I've actually noticed that the more water we drink, in many cases, the more consistent our weight is. So I oftentimes like to have our female clients be anywhere from 80 ounces a day up to a gallon, and then our male clients anywhere from 1 gallon up to 1.5 gallons, just depending on their size and what they do for physical activity and what they do for physical work. So hydration, remember that. Do not skimp out on the water. In review of this video, from the world of delicious food, hey coach, What about weight fluctuations? What can cause them? Poor sleep, late workouts, late meals, date nights, meals out, cycle phases, and hydration. And keep in mind that weight gain does not mean fat gain, and you should not be checking your weight multiple times per day or obsessing over the scale. Use the scale as a tool, use the scale as a data metric to gather data so that then you can start to create trends by looking at the differences between 1 week, 2 week, 3 week, and 4 week. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave them down there in the comment section, and I'll be sure to answer your question in the next Hey Coach video. Peace.